Good morning, y'all. It's Timothy. I had a good night, and we can tell it was a good night because I'm wearing color coordinated lavender, and I had on lavender shoes and stuff. It happened on total accident, and it worked out all for the best, and I got a bunch of compliments. I had a sweet night, but I'm gonna say this real quick. It was a great night, but I invited out my friend Sean. And he invited out his buddy, and we went to this comedy show that an ex friend of mine was putting on, and I was like, let me be nice. I'm gonna show my support. We got drinks, we sat front row, we were like in the audience, like some of the I guess they were like it was a pretty good crowd, mostly comics, but like at least like maybe 10 people who weren't comics, roughly, give or take. But something that upset me is that my buddy Sean's, like, I've mentioned this in another video, he has a bit of a main character syndrome like thing that he does. Sometimes he's great to take to comedy shows and open mics because he'll do this thing where, like, he wants to socialize. He's got autism and he wants to like buy people drinks and be sweet and like make conversation and hype up comedians, and he laughs like the hardest out of anyone in the room at a joke, and like he's funny. Like, he's a good guy to have around, like supports the bar, supports the comedians, good heart. But sometimes there is moments where every once, like, I don't know, every blue moon or so, or I don't know, like every few comedy shows, he will do something ridiculous. He's the type of dude that'll go do like a specific queer and women only open mic and then get on stage and then say some joke like, "Don't tell people that you're trans. Just suck a dick. They'll find out eventually." And then like the whole audience that one day, I remember they were like, "Oh my god, oh what?" Because it's like the joke didn't make sense, but it was still like, even the best way we could formulate it in our heads was like, "Oh, that's not only stupid, but it's also just not a good joke, and also very, very bad for a lot of reasons, just like transphobic, basically." And I talked to him afterwards. I was like, that was an interesting joke to tell on stage. He was like, hey, it's the comedy scene, dog. If you can't handle it, get your weak ass out. And he said it in his little fake ass black accent. Mind you, he is a white man. Anyway, there's plenty of stories with Sean, but I guess that just like that's only one that paints a picture. Another time I hung out with him, I remember specifically it ended in a screaming match and like him almost getting in a fight with me, and I scared some cops. It's a long story, but I don't know. Before it got that level serious, he just did little silly shit, like the type of dude to be like, oh, like imagine a comedian gets on stage and it's their turn, and they only get 5 minutes to perform. And then Sean, out of nowhere, sitting front row, like let's say the comedian made like the smallest little joke about testicles, like a passing quip. And then Sean would just like stand up, like loud as fuck, stand up and start shouting Tupac lyrics at the top of his lungs, just like, and then the comedian would stop and stare, and everyone would stare, and I'd kind of be like, fuck, I invited him, I feel so bad. And then the comedian would be like, hey buddy, what you doing there? And he was like, oh, nothing. Yeah, what you said about balls just reminds me about Tupac is all, because he had a song lyric about balls, and then he would rap more of the verse about balls. And then the comedians even did this thing where one of them just said, wow, you should be up here with us. Yeah, like maybe after the show you could just get up on the mic, and when no one is around, specifically not like, no, I'm not gonna be here, the crowd's not gonna, you could just be here all night and just do this. Yeah. And Sean, he's not the brightest fella, but even before then, he basically kind of asked me, he was like, do you think I should go up to the host and see if I can get on stage? I said, don't do that, because this is not an open mic, this is a showcase. They pay people to get on stage and perform, and you have not written a single joke. No, you will just offend everybody if you try to do that. And you want to know what Sean did? Specifically after, I already told him no, it was a bad idea, and that he would just be told no. After that guy basically insulted him further, he just kind of took it seriously, and he was like, oh, you know what? I know what I'm gonna do. He literally, loud as fuck during the next guy's set, like, scoots his metal chair back hella loud and shuffles through hella people and their metal chairs hella loud. No apologies, no nothing. And then he bum rushes over to the host, and you just hear him loud as fuck, just like, oh, can I get on the set, man? And then the like, the comedian was just kind of like, no, you can't. It's nice that you asked, but no, we formulate this specifically. And it's like, the host was so sweet. They were like, hey, maybe at another mic at another time, buddy. Like, Because I guess people kind of could tell it's like he has something, and it's like, yeah, that it's he's autistic and stuff. So am I, but Jesus, I don't know. I know not all autisms are the same, but there's like a huge point of contention in the autism community, or like in most neurodivergent communities, where they will especially notice that men do not take accountability for themselves, especially if they are white, and that's something that is the topic tonight. Because tonight we went to a Martin Luther King themed comedy show that my ex friend Seamus was throwing, and I was like, you know what, we got the free time, we showed up, got drinks, conversation was going well, everything about the night went well, but he did this weird thing where I guess he got too drunk, and guess what? His main Sean's main character syndrome kicked in, and then he just kind of decided, I'm going to rush on stage and. Sorry, one second. Have you ever seen, you know about the Will Smith slap, right? Everyone fucking does. It was the slap heard around the fucking world. He kind of kept doing that. So a comedian got on stage. I knew this guy, he's funny. And I guess like he made a small joke Sean's direction because Sean was kind of low key being a heckler. And he made a small joke like, "Hey, easy now, dude. You look like the type of dude who's gonna stab me in the street with in the like." He just says something like to basically be like, "Hey, you seem like a crackhead. Don't fuck with me, nigga." Energy. And mind you, it's a black comic. Sean's white ass ends up standing up, and he kind of like does this thing where he just kind of like starts bouncing a bit like a kangaroo, and he just kind of pretends like, like, imagine someone, you're a comedian, and then some random white dude who you like make a small joke against is in the crowd, tipsy as fuck off of multiple gin martinis and God knows what else. And then he gets on stage and just starts kind of like flinching at you. Like, you can tell he's playing, but at the same time, you can't be fully sure because he's like really wasted. And I could kind of like the comedian on stage. I didn't even like him personally. Like, we have beef, but even I was like, Sean, sit your ass down. Like, sit your ass, like, sit down, Sean. What the fuck are you doing? Because it was like you're interrupting his set to stand up and like act like you're gonna fight him. I get that you're joking, but it's like it's not that funny. At most, it got like a lot of silence and some few awkward out of the crowd because people were like, "What's he gonna do next? Is he actually trying to fight this guy, or is he just playing around?" Because if it's a joke, it's not all that funny. And that could have just happened once, and that would have been more than enough. I want you to guess how many times it happened that evening. About 8 times, roughly. 8 fucking times. 8 times with different comics, and it kept happening. And then at some point with one specific person, I remember, I don't know what was up with him, but at some point he did the joke again, and it already wasn't really all that funny. But then he just straight up like, imagine a nigga stands up, does the little flinch joke like, "Oh, haha, you heckled me. What if I just punched the shit out you right now?" And then instead of sitting down, he just started staring into space, like full on standing on the very tip top of his feet, staring into space. Like he forgot where he was. I really had to keep tugging his arm, like, Sean, what are you? You're sitting front row. You're blocking people's. Sean, sit the fuck down. And he wasn't sitting. And it's like, nigga, what? You're not. What the fuck are you on? I don't know. And like, cause it's like, imagine if you were at a movie theater and then the nigga who's like seated in front of you just stood up and started staring at like some random corner, like a fucking cat. When cats do that weird shit, it's like, bruh, what the like? What are you doing? It's like it got less funny with time, and then each comedian kind of had a it, don't act like they either had a sit down reaction or don't kill me reaction, because it's like Sean looks fucking crazy, like braided beard with the beads in it and shit. Just fucking annoying and disrespectful for the art form, and just uh but what really annoyed me is that the headliner of the evening, one of the funniest fucking guys, like the whole night people were making small little quips or jokes Sean's direction, but that's also because he would not stop heckling people. Like nothing too severe, but still like enough where it's like, okay, like not as severe as other times, but still like, hey, simmer down. I remember at some point Sean almost like he wasn't gonna start screaming song lyrics or God, what he was about to shout out something fucking stupid in the middle of someone's punchline, and I just had to loud as fuck be like shh, and he was like, huh, huh, oh, what I do, and like with total naivety on why you can't just like shout and scream out something, some random song lyric or extremely long phrase that you just feel like yelling out in the middle of someone's set and you're sitting in front. Well, it's like have some fucking respect. God damn it. It's just like it's like I can't even say that it's like autism is an excuse anymore. I think he's just genuinely that disrespectful. It's just like, come on now. I get it. You want to have your 5 minutes of fame and your attention as well, and be seen as the life of the party and the person who adds fun additions. Nothing's inherently wrong with that until you take it too fucking far. Like, okay, and like a little one liner or a small blurb from the audience here or there, that's totally fucking fine. Like I'm like a little quip can sometimes be fun, especially if a comedian, like if there's like a small gap and it's like something you could like whisper or say at like a normal like level for the crowd to hear, that's not like overly loud and doesn't overtake what the comedian's saying. That can work because even tonight some guy made a joke about like, oh, you need to jack off before you have sex if you know you're a crick nutter, otherwise she's gonna give you a stupid ass nickname that will haunt you for the rest of your life, like here comes stop and go. And I kind of mumbled and laughed something like like red light green light, and the comedian laughed his ass off and he was like, yeah, like red light green light, red light stop, green light go. Gonna pop any second. But yeah, Sean doesn't do it subtly and he does it overkill and it's just like, dude, this is not your time to shine. These people are getting paid and we're trying to it's a professional showcase, like come on. Okay, sorry, but to get back, or not sorry, but you know what I mean, to get back to what I was saying, Sean eventually, eventually, like the headliner goes up, the headliner's funny as fuck, and he's making a bit too many jokes at Sean's expense. Like a little bit too, like the exact same jokes as the other people, but I guess they're more funny and a bit like, I won't say scathing, because I wouldn't find them, but it's like he was especially going ham more than the other comedians were, because it's like, yeah, he's a comedy veteran. And Sean, I noticed that he stopped laughing entirely. And at some point, like, damn, I'm trying to remember it, but I know I was pretty drunk at this point. I just remember he kept getting up. Like it wasn't just like a one off like why I oughta nah. It wasn't just like a one off of that. It was, and he wouldn't just do it like super quick. It'd be like a long ass like hmm hmm hmm, and then eventually he like, after a long ass pause and people kind of being like, it's gonna fuck me up because he's winding back, he just sit down. With this specific headliner, he decided, you know what, I should do this like fucking 6 times during their set, like 5 to 6 times. Fucking ridiculous and disrespectful in a lot of, because it's like you're taking away attention repeatedly, you're making him afraid, and it's like that's just not cool, like at all. And I guess I'm not like, also I'm gonna admit race is a layer to it, because it's like it's Martin Luther King Day, you're at a show with majority black comics, and honestly I don't even think he did that to the white comic who got on stage. I don't know if the white comic made digs his way. I know, I'm pretty sure he did as well. I'm pretty sure there was a dig or two made his way, but it's like he didn't stand up for the white guy, at least from what I could recall. You're at a black comedy show, and it wasn't funny the first time. It was like 0.13% funny the first time you got on stage and did the wind up shit. And even then, you already off the bat had me, the comedian on stage, and then the host of the event all collectively be like, hey, is something wrong with you? Sit down. Like, do you need to go? Like, and he just kept going and kept going. And then I remember after the event was over, like it was still a great time. Everyone had a great time. It was an awesome show. But specifically, he was like, I kind of brought it up. I was like, "Hey, what were you thinking?" Especially when you stood up and just kind of started staring at the walls or whatever. And I said it very nicely, like very gently. Trust me, very gentle. He still got super offended and steamed and all annoyed or whatever. And then I kind of asked outright because he kind of like was kind of shady about the last dude. I was like, were you upset by something that did the last comedian say something to piss you off, like a joke that didn't rub you the wrong way? And he took a long time before he finally said, I mean, he probably did, but I already been forgot about it. And it's like, no, you haven't, because you still are mad about it. And it's like, I'm just, I think I'm getting my point across is that it seems even if they all were the same race, that would be bad. Even if he knew them well, that would still be pretty damn bad. But and I guess it's like he also it's like he doesn't have any. Yeah, I don't know. Then again, this is the exact same guy I remember got stranded in the motherfucking Tenderloin in the fucking rain for an hour straight because of his dumb shit. So it's like, I guess it's just like, I already knew he was stupid. I already knew that his stupidity actually is so scarily bottom of the barrel. Hell, past it's not even scraping the bottom of the barrel for intelligence. It's like, imagine you go to scrape the bottom of the intelligence barrel and you realize you've hit full cement, like you've actually scraped past the barrel, and now you're just getting nothing but rocks to use for fucking brains, and that's what's in Sean's head. It's kind of like that, and it's just like, because I want to be nice, I don't want to say the R word, but I am thinking it a million times, 18 million times over, almost as many times as he tried to fucking pull Will Smith on the stage tonight. Just I'm just really disappointed because now I really have to be like, okay, do I bother to try to confront my friend about this again? Because I don't think they realize the severity of it, and I want to make sure they do. Because if they don't get that together, then how am I supposed to know that they're gonna be a safe or good person to bring to a comedy show or anywhere? We already have had instances in the past of them doing like dumb shit multiple times. The only reason I let them back in, honestly, like financial reasons, and aside from that, he actually can be a very caring and empathetic, very sweet individual. So I guess this is why it kind of disappoints me. It's like, dude, I you don't have to be like this. Let's. I'm just disappointed as well. And now I just have to be like, okay, do I confront him about this, and how do I do so? Guess we'll just have to see. Mm. Anyway, peace. I probably will. And then if I don't confront him about it, because I don't know, he already didn't. Like, it seemed like he didn't fully understand the gravity of the situation. He just felt annoyed more so that I was bringing it up, and then I guess embarrassed, as if I was trying to intentionally embarrass him when I barely even went into the topic that deep. Or maybe he just feels foolish. I don't know. Hard to say, but he's not someone who has a history of taking good accountability. But I don't know. Not much gets in through him. And then I guess the other alternative is like, do I just ghost him and slowly start fading out? I think that's a little more mean. I don't know. But I'm just looking at him funny. I'll probably just bring it up and just probably be like, hey, it's kind of layered that you kind of did this. And I think you should know it's not okay. Because, like, why would you even. Because, mind you, these are performers. Why are you putting performers in a position where they could even be thrown off of their set that they have practiced and want to perform well in front of an audience that they're most likely getting paid to be in front of? The stakes are high and they want to have a good time. Why are you trying to sabotage how they perform and how good their night could be? Because it's like they all chose to be in a good mood after. They kept going, the show went on, everything was fine. But it's still like, hey, you put them in a position where it could have had the potential to go way worse. And that's what I don't appreciate. Because it could have easily been a comedian being like, yo, fuck you, dude. Or like, hell, with the last guy, it really did seem like he was gonna hit him. And I don't like that. It makes me feel weird. So I guess I have something new to think about. It also kind of reminds me of why I don't like to hang out with him too much one on one. Because, like, Mm. Bye.